Okay, it says I am live. I'm going to give it a moment or two to catch up on the YouTube side. It'll take just a second here. We'll see if it flips over. And there it is. So, full transparency, everybody. I did a terrible job at marketing this live stream. I actually had not planned on doing this. Had kind of a rough day today, but I decided at the last minute to go ahead and do it because Tuesday nights, that's when we do this. So, we're going to give everybody a few moments to wheel in, but I appreciate the early risers, as it were. Craig, thank you very much. And Steve, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we just got to keep on plugging away, man. We can't give up. That's the thing. It's been too long, and it would be foolish to stop now, in my opinion. Slav, good to see you, and Texas Teacher, good to see you as well. Texas had a really good question to start the evening off, but I want to give it a couple more moments before we hit that because I want as many people to see that question as possible. Labby 2, good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Keenan, always a pleasure. Steven, good to see you. I was telling everybody I did a terrible job at marketing this tonight, so it was last minute. Doobie, good to see you as well. Music Lover, good to see you. Need something to watch, no more sports. Well, I can certainly help you with that. I'll be honest with you, and don't hate me for this. I'm not a sports person, so that sort of thing does not hold my interest very much at all. But I know plenty of people who can relate to that. I Lift, good to see you, and Dennis Jones, good to see you as well. So I am going to pop in the first question here. I got to wheel back up to that, and actually, I'm going to do it over here. We're doing this Stream or Steam Yard, whatever app that we're working with now, me, Big Johnson, and 1776. So still kind of getting used to it, but I love that you can put the questions down here below. So Texas Teacher asked a great one, and this is a topic about the range time, and it's how many rounds do you normally put through your firearm at the range? Let's say if you take a Shield or a 43X or a 365. So it looks like you're getting pretty specific on the types of firearms that you take to the range. And ironically, and I'm going to get your question out of the way here, the last range visit, I did take the X5 Legion out, which is awesome. That video does drop this weekend, by the way. But I also took the 365 XL, and I didn't put very many rounds through it, mainly because they did not have the targets that I normally use that are easier for the camera to pick up. I'm still going to use some of the footage because I love for you guys to see my first impressions, my first shooting experience with any gun. So it's going to be hard to see the rounds, but you'll still hopefully get the idea of how I'm reacting to the firearm. But again, a small gun, kind of like the Shield or the 43X. Now, the 43X is kind of an odd deal because I think there's just enough grip for me with that gun to shoot pretty much all day long if I want. Now, admittedly, all day long for me is somewhere to 300 to 400 rounds, and then I basically am done. I really don't want to shoot anymore after that, so I'm getting pretty tired and I'm kind of ready to do something else. The regular 365, this little guy, I've got it here for comparisons with the XL. That's one that I don't really care to shoot more than maybe 150 rounds. That's when I really start getting kind of tired of it. It's just snappy enough to where it fatigues me a little bit more. Now, the XL, sort of the same. I mean, there's not a lot of difference between the two, but I probably can go a little bit longer. Now, one thing, a little sneak preview with this guy before the video drops in 2 or 3 weeks. This thing gets hot. And Harry's Holster, you guys know Harry, he dropped a video or two on this not too long ago, and he notated the same thing. So that it is a hot little guy, no doubt about that. But yeah, Texas Teacher, I would say I generally aim for 250 or 300 rounds at the range. That's a good range trip, and that's typically filming, and that's usually my first impressions with a gun, 250, 300 rounds. That's to me, a good a volume of fire to be able to get an idea of what the shooting characteristics are like with a firearm and be able to make an assessment. Now, that also leaves the door open for something down the road if I want to, because I want a first impression and an overall review of the firearm, but then if it's something that is worth keeping on, like the 320X compact. I've got a lot of SIGs in front of me right now, by the way. I've been working with them tonight, but this will be a long-term review, and so you'll see some updates on it, that sort of thing. So it'll have 1,000+ rounds, hopefully a lot more than that by the time everything is done. So it just kind of depends, but that's pretty that's pretty much it. So I want to catch up here. I've been talking for too long here, so I want to get caught up a little bit. Lane, good to see you. I'd call everybody out. Everybody's kind of piling in, which I appreciate, by the way. Driving past Centerfire as we speak. Very cool. Very cool. Wave to him. Doobie, pretty bored right now. Nice to be here again. Well, it's good to have you here for sure. And Music Lover, shot my SP01. Problem with brass hitting me, so not sure what's going on. I think we talked about this a week ago, perhaps maybe on another chat. I can't remember. But I would say take a look at the extractor and also take a look at the ammo that you're running in it. Do kind of try some different things and see if there is any characteristic change in that ejection. See what happens there. But worst case scenario, you might want to have that extractor looked at. It's always possible. It's always possible for that sort of thing to happen. So a lot of people are saying 250 to 500 rounds, 50 rounds for music. No shame in that at all. Everybody kind of has their own jam at the range. Slav was saying that, oftentimes he puts a small amount of rounds through his firearms and gives his guns to other people to have fun with at the range. And they put a lot of rounds through. So that's a great way to break in your firearm. No doubt about that. Big Daddy, good to see you. Let's see. iLift, did you get the VP9 long slide yet? It's crazy fast and flat shooting. No, I have not. Right now it's not on the radar. You guys know things have changed a little bit with the channel. So still running, still up and going. No change there, but I'm kind of being a little bit more conservative about what goes in, what comes out. And right now things are going out. Just to keep things moving along and recoup a little bit because this stuff's expensive. So kind of change that up just a little bit. Little housekeeping. I won't keep you long on this, but I am on Patreon now. If you want to join up there, there's some exclusive content. We're having a good time over there. So that is an option. And then we're doing the Amazon links down below all of the videos. So if there's something you want to buy on Amazon, click a link. Helps the channel, and it's free to you guys. So it's actually kind of a cool deal there. Enough of that. I don't want to push that stuff too much, guys. I really don't. Dennis B., good to see you, my friend. All right, let's see what's going on. Texas Teacher, have you had any problems with your XL? I had two. I guess three problems. So I've already said that it gets hot, no doubt about that. But that just, it's volume of fire. And when I'm filming, I'm filming kind of quick. I'm not really doing this at a leisurely pace, although it's more leisurely now than it used to be because of my wrist. But I move pretty quick, and I did notice after about 150 rounds, this thing was almost too hot to touch, not quite, but almost. I had two failures to feed in the very beginning, first two mags, and it never happened again. And I did not switch ammo. I shoot PMC 115 grain most of the time. That's what you see in my videos, generally speaking. And so I think it had some kinks to work out, and then it was fine after that. And the only other thing I've noticed with this, especially in the very beginning, and I always take every gun and clean it completely, take it all apart, clean everything before I do any shooting or anything like that. So I get any factory grease or oil or anything like that out of it. But I noticed in the beginning, the racking the slide, not so much like this. This isn't quite so bad. But when I would dry fire it and then rack it, it is incredibly tight. And at first, I could not rack it at all in front. You guys can see I can now. It's loosened up quite a bit. But in the beginning, man, that thing was exceptionally tight. And I don't know if that's just a fitment issue. Some firearms have to be broken in a little bit, but aside from those issues and the failure to go into battery, failure to feed in the very beginning, that is not 100% uncommon, especially with smaller firearms. And if you notice it being a pattern after a couple of hundred rounds, that might be a problem. If it's one or two in the very beginning and it doesn't do it again, even as it gets hotter and dirtier and that sort of thing, I don't consider that actually an issue. It's something to talk about, but I don't think it's an issue. Now, if it happens the next time I go to the range, freshly cleaned and everything, then it's really something to note and for us to talk about. I think this will be on several videos because I think people are going to be curious, not so much about first impressions, maybe a little bit, but also longevity and see how it performs going forward, because several people, including Harry, have already notated some issues. So I will keep you guys posted. And I have no problem telling you if something fails or something is successful. I don't have any dog in the fight other than I like to do reviews. So I'm happy to share anything with you guys, but we'll kind of have to see how it all goes. So Night Wolf, good to see you, man. Texas teacher, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, it's Amazon Prime Day, I think. I think that's still going on, so it might be a good opportunity to take advantage. Ranger 10 millimeter, good to see you. Late to the show. Well, I'll tell you what, I was telling people I did a terrible job at marketing this thing. I did not think I was going to do one of these videos or live streams today. I wasn't really feeling very well earlier, so just decided, I need to go ahead and do it anyway. So here we are. Ferrets with Guns, good to see you, man. Logan White, it's been a while, man. I haven't seen you around. Good to see you. Let's see. Nicholas Rodriguez. Everyone calls the Yankee Marshal a liar about not getting paid by YouTube. Are you making any money from them? Zero. So it's all gone. In fact, the analytics really, it just went straight down. What was it? 5 days ago, 6 days ago, whatever it was. And it's flatlined. And so I'm watching everything disappear from previous. So they don't allow for super chats. They don't allow for any monetization whatsoever. I don't know if you guys will see videos on any or ads on any of my videos either. So I can reapply in a month, which is great. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm going to try the Patreon thing and doing some special stuff over on Patreon that I've really wanted to always do on YouTube, but I can't. So it's kind of a new and different opportunity. And it also allows for more flexibility because I can share more things with you guys, more links and information and discount codes. And by the way, I don't really do affiliate links and that sort of thing. I may do a few more now just because I have to, but I really haven't done that. I like giving people discount codes so you can save a little bit of money if you're interested in a product. But it allows the opportunity to do more of that stuff. So I'm going to have to evaluate. I have until August 7th to make that decision. So we'll have to see how that goes. Labby, are you going to look at the P320 X5 Legion? Looking at it right now, actually. The video on this drops this weekend, so you guys will get to see it. Sneak peek. I love the thing, guys. It's a tremendously good gun. I had some issues with it in the beginning. Full transparency. So one of the unique things about the X5 Legion is the recoil spring and guide rod system is a little bit different, and it actually comes with two springs, a 14-pound and a 12-pound spring. The 14 is in it. And I made the mistake. This was such a noob mistake for anyone, really. But for me, definitely, I should have known better than this. But I only took that spring with me. Excuse me. And again, I shoot 115 grain PMC. And this thing stovepiped constantly. And I talk about it in the video. The video is already done. So I went back for a day 2 shoot with the 12-pound spring in. This thing ran like a top, and it was awesome. I felt the recoil a little bit more because there was less oomph in the spring, so to speak. But I'll tell you what, I mean, look at this thing, man. There's no effort to move this slide around, and the fitment on it is fantastic. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but I've been very impressed. In fact, I've been so impressed, I kind of want to pair it up against the Shadow 2. We've done that before with the regular X5, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think. I think this thing might give it a run. I really do. Now, I love the Shadow 2. It's my favorite gun in the collection, full transparency. But that thing might do the trick. I don't know. So hopefully nobody will leave because I said that. We'll see. Knuckles, good to see you, man. Slav Guns, it's your suppressor videos. I have almost none. My can, it shows up in like 3 videos out of 300. So I don't think that's it. I really don't. And I don't have a video specifically about a suppressor. And there are a lot of other guys that have videos about that. So there's a serious inconsistency there with that, unfortunately. Was there a reason for the demonetization? They said my videos are harmful videos. Right. You guys, I mean, look at me. I'm very, very harmful for sure. So pretty ridiculous stuff, unfortunately. Keenan, don't know much about the P210. Heard good things. Got to get my DW Guardian more. Yes, the Guardian. I highly recommend it, Keenan. The 210, I'd like to try that at some point. It was on the map earlier this year, and I've kind of moved it aside to bring on the revolver that hopefully will be up here before entirely too long. So we'll see. Nicholas, they still show ads even when you're demonetized. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're going to make money off my videos, even though I can't. So, it's just another way they run the company, which is fantastic. But whatever, it is what it is, guys. All right, Knuckles, you said something here a second ago. Saw VP9 for $4.99 on Gunbroker. That is a fantastic deal. Did it have night sights? If it had night sights, that would even be better. Craig, I shoot 124 NATO out of my VP9 just fine. Nice. So Dennis Jones, the PCR is 480 on KVAR right now. That is a steal, you guys. The PCR is a fantastic firearm. In fact, 1776 Robust was talking about that on his live stream the other night. PCR, it's hard to find. So that might be something to jump on, especially if it's under $500. I typically don't see those for under $600 around here, so that's a good deal. Knuckles, PMC 9mm seems very lightly loaded. Yeah, it is a lighter load. That is absolutely true. I actually prefer that. It's just easier on me. I can shoot a little bit longer. Again, with a bad wrist, it's something that I have to consider. So, Lane, did you end up keeping your CZP-10S? I've been a stranger lately, so I don't know what happened. Yeah, Lane, it has been a while, man. I'm glad you're here. I did. Yeah, the P10S is gone. However, it's accessible. I know the guy very well. He's a good friend of mine. So I can bring it back at any time if I need to, assuming that he would allow me to do that. So that was kind of a win-win there. And he really wanted it. He really liked it a lot. Floridian, good to see you. Oh, Kathleen, as much as people knock Glock, at least they work. Well, I mean, generally speaking, Pops, you're an evil gun tuber. Yes, totally. I mean, look at me. It's very scary. Good to see you, by the way. Ferris, don't do it. I can't buy another gun right now. Yeah, check out that PCR, man. They're great guns. Cajun Tigers, good to see you. Harmful Snowflakes. REB, good to see you as well, man. I lied to you earlier. I decided last minute to go ahead and do this. Al Osborne, what can do you have? I have an Omega 45K, and I actually started with the 9K, and before I put any rounds through it, I decided to do the 45 because it allows for more calibers, like 45, which is actually a lot of fun to shoot suppressed. 380, 300 blackout if I want, that sort of thing. In hindsight, I probably should have gone with the 9K. It's a lot smaller. And I, run 9mm 95% of the time. So I probably should have done it that way, but, live and learn. I've got a can, so I don't want to complain too much. Logan White, have you seen a 410 revolving shotgun? Would you buy one? No. I've not seen one, and I don't think I would buy one. I don't have a problem with a 410 gauge, but no, that's it wouldn't consider it on the map, really. Yeah, Pop's Quest talking to Slab. You can't really communicate with YouTube as a content creator. I did get on a chat with someone from YouTube. There is a way to talk to somebody through chat. Here's the problem, though. As I was telling my story, whatever, and saying that I was wrongfully blah, 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 this person was cutting and pasting lines from a script and putting them in there. And that's all they did the whole time. There was no actual conversation there whatsoever. So that was the experience that I had. And I think that's about the best experience you're going to get, unfortunately, talking with them, especially if you're a very small channel. If you've got 1 million subscribers, it's a different story. It becomes a little bit easier, I think, to communicate with them, but not a little channel. So it's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. Corey, good to see you from Erie, PA. Ranger 10mm, any 10mm reviews coming up? I do have that other Rock Island 10mm. I'm saving it for a while because I just did one and they are very similar. So I thought it'd be a little bit redundant to do something so close. And I'm hoping Rock lets me keep it long enough to do that. I've had it for a little while now, and they might start getting irritated with me. And it's been a good relationship. So if that one, for whatever reason, has to go, it is really similar to the one that I just released. So we will definitely do more 10 millimeters. There are definitely more, but that's all I've got on the books, at least right now. Okay, Knuckles, no night sights on the VP9. Well, it's still a good deal. I mean, it really is. Karam 19 just bought a Wilson Combat EDC X9 for 2,300. Wow. Now that's a non-rail. That's okay. And it's pretty nice. I would say that's very nice, especially for that price. I mean, that's a $3,000 gun, or just about. So I'd say you did very well. And rail or no rail, I mean, still, it's a very nice gun. Congratulations on that. So Slav is saying you can talk to him more if you're a larger creator. I have mixed reviews about that. A buddy of mine who's got a much, much, much bigger channel said he's not discovered that. And we're talking not quite 10 times what I've got. So maybe again, if you're like up in the millions, probably, but if lower than that, I don't know, man. Labby, any chance you'll look at the Smith 610? Is that a revolver? I'm assuming. I don't have a problem doing that. It's all about timing and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I certainly would. REB bought an Archon Type B. Congratulations. Hope that arrives very soon. That's awesome, man. Very cool. Jeremy Ellis, hey, should I be having buyer's remorse for the P320X Compact? No, you should not. I love the thing, man. I think it's phenomenal. It is a fantastic firearm. I've been uber impressed with it, and it's not going anywhere. It's still here. This is a long-term tester and perhaps a forever gun. I've just been that impressed. It just fits so well in the hand. All right, I'm catching up here for a moment or two. Scott, good to see you. Scott K, good to see you as well. Still creepy, good to see you. See you, Pops. Snowman, good to see you. Hi, KS. TGC is looking for YouTubers. We've already talked. We talked a while ago, actually. So looking forward to that, man. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time. I think they have some of the best presentations out there, and that's where I get all my news. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much for mentioning that. We have definitely been talking. Fina, good to see you. KS, what's your favorite pistol in your collection? The one you will never get rid of and enjoy shooting the most. That's really tough. That's a tough question. Thanks for putting me on the spot. The Shadow 2 is probably my favorite in the collection. I mean, I've been blown away since the second I put my hand on the thing. Sandpaper pistol grips, loaned me one to do a review on last year, very early last year. It's been a while now, or even the end of 2017. I can't remember. But the second I started shooting it, I had to have one, and I immediately found one and got one. And it's been a blast ever since. It's been on quite a few videos. It's been the #1 in a yearly review. So I dig it, man. It's a great gun. However, I was saying earlier, we may have a runner-up, if nothing else. This X5 Legion is pretty fantastic. So again, we may have to do a reboot of that if I could only have one. But yeah, man, the Shadow 2 is just awesome. Yuma G19 factory recoil. Hopefully there's more to that. I'll hold on for a bit though. Oh, G19 factory recoil spring weight. I think it's 18 pounds, I do believe. Because I switched to a 15 pound if I'm doing a lighter slide and running the can with it, and that usually does pretty well. Filet Minion, good to see you. I know you let your P10S go and you only barely shot the P365 XL, but do you like one over the other? Ooh, good question. I'd probably go P10S. I mean, if you told me I had to make a decision right now, the P10S, although I didn't get along with it as much because of ergonomics, I could get around that with a lot of time spent because it was a little nuance with my pinky that was just irritating to me. and irritating enough to where it affected my shooting mentally, probably. But I like the 365 XL. I'd be happy with either one. The P10S is a little bit more of an all-day shooter. That XL is not. First, I mean, it's snappy. It's 20 ounces, just a little over, but it gets hot. It really does. So the P10S really didn't, or as much. So I'd probably go with that one. Dave Gass, good to see you. Nicholas, Military Arms Channel has his own YouTube rep. Well, there you go. Yeah, good for him, I guess. I wish he would introduce us. That's probably not going to happen. Jeremy Ellis, let's see. I'm just not loving it as much as others. Okay, talking to Karen. Had to send it back for some trigger issues and only had it for 2 months. Okay, not quite sure what you were talking about. Not in that conversation, unfortunately. All right, Music Lover, how many Yeet cannons did you buy? 0, zilch, none, nada. I have actually never shot a high point. I've handled a couple, but never shot one. It's not on the radar, to be honest with you. I think there will be enough reviews, enough videos out there on the Yeet cannon. I don't feel like that's necessarily the right direction right now, unless you guys just bug me about it. But I probably won't. Keenan, the X Compact was a shocker for me. Yeah, it's a phenomenal firearm. No doubt about that. Let's see. Oh, sorry, Logan White. Have you answered my laser lights versus red dots question? I believe I missed it. Wondering which you prefer. I would do red dots. I'm not a fan of lasers. I don't think I really ever have been. I prefer the red dot idea. It's all contained in one thing. You're not putting a beam out there. It's just not, it's not for me. Now, in terms of accuracy or in terms of self-defense, a lot of people say lasers are a great thing because, I mean, it really is point and shoot. The laser's doing a lot of that sighting in for you. Again, it's just not a thing for me. So I'd go red dots, man. William Keller, good to see you. All right, Knuckles, KS would be an awesome addition to TGC. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll see what happens. I'm up for anything. And again, I like those guys a lot. So it should be a good time. Still creepy. Custom CZP-01. Oh man, I wish. That's a wish list gun, no doubt about it. Hey, Dwayne, good to see you. Snowman, Shadow 2 versus SP-01 Shadow. I'd still go Shadow 2, although that SP-01 Shadow is no slouch. I love that gun, but the Shadow 2, it's got just a little bit more weight. Those ergonomics are so good. I would go Shadow 2. I really would. Dustin, hey, thanks, man. Keep pumping out quality content. Much love from Lincoln, Nebraska. Really appreciate that. You're just a stone's throw away. You're not far at all. Slav, no such thing as a forever gun that's in current production. I don't know. I think so. Get them while they're not rare, I guess. Okay, Slav is saying SP-01 is his main match gun. That's cool. Now, okay, so you've got the Zev OZ9. Now, I had the chance to handle one at Frontier Justice down the street from me, and I was impressed with it with the exception of one thing. Now, when I shoot, I wrap my finger through. My fingers are just way too long. This is very uncomfortable for me, especially in really small firearms. It just is. So this is a thing. With the OZ, I noticed because that trigger safety, trigger lever is so far down in the trigger and it's really tiny that because I do this, I actually miss it a lot since I'm not using my pad. So that would actually be a no-go for me unless I switched out the trigger. So I like the feel of it though, but I would not be able to run with that. Let's see, Snowman. When I ran the regular X5, I ran a 12-pound spring with 135 grain reloads. Shot really good. I bet with the X5 Legion, it's even better due to the weight in the frame. Yeah, this frame is a pound, man. This thing weighs a ton. It weighs more than the steel frame Q5, which blows my mind. And I actually think it feels better in the hand, to be honest with you. However, if you've got small hands, this thing may not work for you. Although the Q5 steel frame probably wouldn't either. Dwayne, do you hate Springfield XDS Mod 2? I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I like the sight lineup a lot. It's reasonably ergonomic. I mean, I could certainly live with that. I did not care for the trigger one bit. It was way too heavy. I really just, I'm kind of a trigger snob, but it was like 6.5 pounds and it wasn't very clean, or at least my sample. Keep in mind, it's a sample of one, and it was a pre-production model. So they may have changed that since then. But I was impressed with the build quality. Those sights were awesome. But the trigger was a no-go. That was a showstopper for me, unfortunately. Floridian, what's your current carry ammo brand, caliber, and why? I actually have a couple. I do use Fort Scott Munitions, and I use their 80 grain. That's their self-defense load, even though they now have 125 grain. It is fantastic, especially in smaller firearms like the 365. It takes some of that snap out a little bit, and they're still very effective rounds. But it's either that or I'll do HSTs, depending on the firearm. That I usually run in my shield. So I kind of mix and match a little bit and just have to get used to it when I'm carrying. So I'm not necessarily beholden to any one brand. Yeah, Keenan, you can use 1911 springs in the X5 Legion. That is correct. Oh, yep, you got that was answered. Wheeled and well armed. Good to see you. Isaac Lopez, any interest in 2011s? I've done several, actually. Done a Rock Island and then an STI as well. I'm a fan. I don't have a problem with 2011s at all. Hail to the Rooster. Once you mentioned that Beretta versus Shadow 2, I started looking into high-end Berettas. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what you go with, Rooster, if you decide to get something. We're going to see the Langdon Tactical here before too long. And then I've got a buddy that's got the M9A3. So I might do a three-way if I could only have one. I don't know. We'll see. That might be kind of an odd and different sort of video for us. But I'm excited to work with the Langdon. The Wilson Combat was awesome. That thing was fantastic with the Vertec grip. Absolutely loved it. That video was not done very well, unfortunately, but I still enjoy the gun. Rabbi Jesus, good to see you. Oy vey. I spend thousands to go on vacation, and all I'm doing is sleeping. Well, that's okay. It's awesome. All right, Slav Guns. Let's see. Do a shout out for my Ruger Wrangler video coming out in about 30 minutes. Okay, everybody, check out Slav's video on his Ruger Wrangler after this. There you go, buddy. Keenan, the Shadow 2 has a great balance compared to the Bull Shadow and SPO1 Shadow, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so too. And balance, there's something to say for balance. I mean, when you pick up certain firearms, you just know the balance is really good. I mean, it feels good in the hand. It sits really well. Balance is important, man. It really is. All right, I'm catching up here a little bit. Al Osborne, favorite trigger for Glock? I mean, I'd say Apex. I run that in most of my Glocks. I like the way they sit for the type of trigger pull that I do with, half my finger in there. So they're very comfortable. But then I do a lot of modifications internally with the various parts, that sort of thing. I've got a pretty good combination of parts that runs well. Now with Polymer 80s, it's sort of a gamble or a crapshoot because each one's a little different, all the tolerances and all that sort of thing. But Apex, generally speaking, I mean, I like Overwatch Precision as well, but Apex is kind of my go-to for triggers. All right. Snowman, can't decide if I want an X5 Legion or a P226 SAO Legion. I have a 226 RX slide sitting in my safe. I don't know, man. I would at least handle an X5 Legion if you can. You might be pretty impressed. Mike Rossi, good to see you. Is the 92X on your radar? Absolutely. I mean, if it's a possibility, I'm having to be a little bit more conservative about what comes in and comes out and dependent upon people a little bit more, hopefully to lend and loan. There are certainly people around here that have offered to do that, which is very helpful. Keep that content going. But yeah, the 92X, I would love to try, man. I absolutely would. Now, keep in mind, it's geared towards competition. So it's going to have, I think, some different characteristics than you're used to with other 92. So, I mean, that's what I understand at least. Wow. Karam have Langdon Tactical with serial number 18. That's really cool. Very cool. All right, Logan, is the P365 XL on the radar? It absolutely is. It's right here, buddy. I actually was working a little bit on some pre-production stuff tonight, just photography, that sort of thing, and I have shot it, so I'll have some stories to tell. Nicholas, just a friendly reminder of you have to sell the Wilson sights, and Mag Guide are available on the website and can be installed on the LTT. Okay, good to know. Yeah, the sights on the Wilson, that pushes it over the edge. Those sights are fantastic. So yeah, it's good to know, man. 3L, I like Sig Sauer. Me too. They do a good job. Mostly. All right, Brian, I just got a CMMG Banshee MKG 9mm. Congratulations. Do you have plans to dip your toes in the Banshee line? Yes, I do. That hopefully will be sometime this year. That's the plan. I really want to try a Banshee because we've done some other PDWs, and the X-Star is here. So I'm going to be playing around with that. That video will drop probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks, something around there. And then we're going to wrangle a bunch of them together and see what happens with those. So we'll have to see kind of how all that plays out. But yeah, Banshee is definitely on the radar at some point. Logan White, I think Big J would like the P365 XL. You know, I don't think he would. His hands are too freaking big. He's a bear, man. Knuckles, surprised at the lack of sight options for CZs, considering how popular they become, especially with hipsters. Oh, yeah, their sight options are a little bit limiting, unfortunately. That is very true. But there are some out there. Brian Green, what is KS Gun Guy's go-to or favorite firearm? You can only pick one. Well, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'd say the Shadow 2, but it all depends on the criteria for the question. I mean, if it was just favorite handgun, I mean, it'd be the Shadow 2. If it was, hey, you could only have one and it had to actually serve as carry, home defense, blah, 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 I'd be boring. It'd be a Glock 19. But there would be reasons why. Parts plentiful, mags plentiful, ammo relatively plentiful, that sort of thing. So I am pretty boring with that. The Arms Man, good to see you. Hail to the Rooster. Night Vision compares well to Trijicon HDs. If you're looking for something similar, I like those and TrueGlow TFX Pros. Yeah, I need to try some night visions. I have not, but hopefully I will at some point in time. We'll see. Floridian, any idea on the most expensive gun ever sold? Oh, it was millions. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if it was like a flintlock pistol or something like that. But yeah, I mean, millions of dollars. Not anything I've sold, but like at auction, really famous firearms. I wish I would have sold something like that. I would have sold it. Snowman KS, you put a dot on the X5 Legion when you tested it. I did not. No. I don't have the, whatever it is, the Romeo 1 Pro. I don't even know if that's out. So no. The only dot that I really have my eyes on would be the little Romeo 0, the little micro one for the XL. I would like to try that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Armsmen, 365 XL versus M&P, 4-inch versus G48. I don't know if I'm going to be able to swing that. The M&P is out the door very soon, but it did make an appearance on pre-production of the video for the comparisons. So I did think that was a smart thing to do because, you know, we're seeing these longer slide firearms come out. So the G48 and the Shield 4-inch, that sort of thing. So you'll see a glimpse. The 48's already gone. It left. I kept the 43X. I like it a lot. So excuse me. Mike Rossi, frame mounted safety on the 92X will make my muscle memory cringe. Right. Dave Gass, Sig Sauer Legion SAO 226 is my favorite Massachusetts compliant gun. 2,500 flawless rounds. Yeah, that's no surprise, man. They're phenomenal guns, Dave. No doubt about that, buddy. Ranger 10. How about taking a poll on the next if I could only have one? You pick the ones for the poll. That's a great idea. I don't have a problem doing that at all. I'll put something like that together. Rabbi, he will choose the MMP. I don't know, man. I don't know. Seeing as how the MMP is not going to be here anymore. C Kim, they used a single recoil spring on the XL. I think the double spring would have been any better. Any failures to go into battery? Yes, I had two, one on each of the first two magazines in the gun, and that was when it was cold, freshly cleaned, all that sort of thing. PMC, 115 grain as usual. After that, though, not a single round, not a single problem, not a single failure. It heated up a lot. It got pretty dirty, but yeah, those were the two failures on that. So, if it's a first little break-in, I don't consider that big of a deal. If it was after 150 rounds and it started doing that, that's a problem. That is a significant problem. But in the very beginning, if it's got to work through a couple of kinks or get a burr out or something like that, I don't consider that big of a deal. Because if you're freaking out that your firearm that you just purchased had a couple of minor hiccups in the first box, and then everything else after that is flawless. I just don't think that's that big of a deal. If it's consistently bad, if things crop up a lot, the Hudson's a great example of that. I had consistent failures, actually inconsistent failures, all the way up to pretty close to 1,000 rounds. And that tells a very different story to me. Logan White, I'd like to get a Taurus Raging Bull in the P365 XL. Those gorgeous guns are making my bucket list grow. Yeah, man. Wheeled and well armed. My latest purchase was the IMI Jericho 941 Chrome 9mm. Nice. Pretty excited about it. Have you shot one? I have not, my friend. I have not. They say it uses CZ springs and Tanfoglio parts. Right. Yeah, I'd like to try Jericho at some point, but I have not. Brian Walter, no offense to the other two guys, but I prefer you by yourself. There, I said it. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Brian. They're good guys too. It's nice to have a little bit of texture in the live streams as well. You get different opinions and perspectives and that sort of thing. But the solo ones are a lot of fun as well. I'm going to share that story. I hope you don't mind. Oh, there we go. All right, Stephen Worth, Simon Bolivar's Flintlock, $1.687 million. Wow, that is crazy. Okay, now we have another one here. Floridian saying most expensive gun ever sold, Winchester 1886 rifle owned by man who captured Geronimo. Wow, 1.2 million. I don't know. That Flintlock looks like it's got it. And I thought it was a pistol. I thought that was the most expensive one. Or at least according to, I don't know if it was like Pawn Stars or something like that. I can't remember. In all seriousness, good to see you. Get the Nora. Yeah, that looks actually pretty cool. Who did I see? Was it the Firearm Guy did a video on that recently? And that actually did look pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Oh, Stephen Ware, George Washington's saddle pistols, $1.986 million. Wow. Guy had wooden teeth. Who knew? Okay, Mike Rossi, $199 MSRP for the Romeo Zero coming at the end of this month. Okay, I'll keep my eye out for that. That would be very cool. I'd be interested in trying that. Wasim Mata, I hope I'm saying that right. Do you know if the $2,000 version of the FK Bruno is out? I do not, my friend. I don't know. So if somebody knows, holler. The Armsmen, it seems like everyone is leaning towards the 43X. I did. I like the 43X. The 48 just didn't do it for me. And yeah, Keith Gregory is saying they're now available in all black. I bet a lot of people are excited. And I bet a lot of people are really frustrated because they bought the other ones, but they wanted the black one. So there's that. I actually like the silver. I think that's actually pretty good looking. Knuckles, I prefer the recoil impulse of 124 grains over 115. You know, I've heard other people say that as well. I don't quite so much. I am pretty used to 115 grain. Now for self-defense ammo, I have no problem, 124 or even 147. But for longevity, 115, just to me, that's just easier on me. But I know some other people who feel the same way. Rabbi Jesus, great point in breaking in guns. Yeah, some people get pretty bent when they see a failure in the first few rounds or whatever. I just don't. I don't. I want to look for consistency. I want to see that. Yeah, you have a little hiccup in the beginning, but everything else is okay. Big deal. Keith, good to see you, man. See you later, dude. All right, I'm catching up again here. Isaac Lopez, I know you're not a rep. I appreciate that. But what is Glock next 5 guns wish list? I'm not sure I understand the question. Like, what would be the next 5 Glocks I would want? None of them. I mean, I don't have any on the wish list at all. Although a Glock 29 would be kind of cool just to try, even though it'd be a thumper. But I don't really have a wish list for Glocks. I've owned quite a few over the years, quite an assortment of different ones, but I don't really have a wish list. Now, I would like to see the 46. That's that rotating barrel one. That would be pretty cool if it came to the States. The Armsman Nora N1 definitely looks nice, but it seems like that DA triggers. Yeah, I hear you there. And I'm never very excited when I see that. I would want Striker in something that small. I mean, I think it looks really very similar to the P365. Am I alone on that? I think they share a little bit of pedigree. I think that Nora's bigger, but still, I think they look a lot alike. Banshee, I always felt the CZ75 really doesn't have as low a bore as everyone brags about. I think the rail design gives that illusion. Interesting. We'd have to do some measurements on that and see. I think because you can get your hands up so high close to the slide or close to the bore, the barrel, right, that people consider it a very low bore axis type of firearm. But I think you're right. I mean, the slides inside or outside, doesn't really matter. I think it does probably for just smoothness of slide and reliability. But in terms of lowering the slide, probably not so much. But there isn't a lot of slide mass there either. They've taken a lot of the slide out. So that combination of lighter slide, getting your hand really high up on the firearm. I think that gives that illusion of a really low bore. Scott, no, 50 GI Glock. Nice. Banshee found a video someone did of actually measuring several guns against the CZ. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Scott, I do want the rotating barrel Glock. That would be cool. Wheeled and well armed, I shot my Shadow 2, 150 rounds, and the 4th time out, still shot flawlessly. Afterwards, I handled a P226 SAO, and the trigger is sweet. Nice. Very cool. Logan, how's that Wilson Combat Beretta 92 Centurion working out for you? I love it. That is a fantastic firearm. I'd like to see that one stay here. It's just, I dig it, man. I really do. Harry's Holsters, good to see you. Yeah, see Kim. Harry, how's the XL doing? Steve Big Taco, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, APB, the P10S, man. A lot of people are waiting on it. There's no doubt about that, buddy. Young Guns, I picked up the new Glock 41 long slide, 45 ACP today for $500. Wow, that's a good price. That's a good price for brand new. That is a very good price. And that's, it's a long slide. It's like the 34, 35, and the 24, I think. That's great. Congratulations. I had a 41 a few years ago and I loved it. I kind of wish I still had that one. Keenan, I want Glock to make a CZ Scorpion type firearm. That would be a game changer. Well, I don't know about game changer. We'd have to see it, of course, but that part of the market is filling up rather rapidly. I'd like to see them do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. However, would it just be square? I mean, that would be pretty funny if it was. It was just it'd be a bigger Glock and with a kind of a stock or a brace on it, something like that. Sorry, that's kind of where my mind goes with that. But I think that would actually be pretty funny. Floridian, Harry, who makes the best carry holsters? I know the answer. Knuckles, when is the P210 video coming? I'm so close to buying one. Well, to be honest with you, it isn't for the time being. I opted to go with that Smith & Wesson revolver, the 986 revolver instead. I got some feedback. I asked quite a few people which they would prefer to see, and most people said a revolver would be a little bit more interesting. Take it or leave it. But a revolver has never been on the channel before. Now, the P210 hasn't either, but other firearms that are relatively close to it have. So I'd like to do that at some point in time, but it's not on the radar at this point in time, and especially at that price. And I really can't do that now. So we'll have to deal with the revolver, but maybe at some point down the road. The Armsman, I think Tim from Mac and Harry should stay away from P365s. What did Mac do? He got like a fourth one. I was surprised about that. I really was. Scott, just wait till Mac gets the 365 XL. Yeah. He keeps saying he wants them to run. So I didn't have a problem with mine. CZ Fangirl, good to see you. I'm just reading some of the conversations here. You guys are really pretty funny. Keenan, I have a P220 Legion. Love it. But you can also opt for the HK45. Right on. I'd go 220 Legion. I really would, personally. Wasim Mat, I can loan you a 210 target to review. I'd take it. That would be pretty freaking sweet. That's got the crazy grip on it, right? That would be pretty cool. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram. That would be cool. Steve B, P210 is really good. I've had mine for 2 years. Nice. Brian, have you heard about the new Glock Gen 5 40 cals? Must be coming soon. Had a couple in the shop I work at. Really? That would be interesting, but cool. APB Magpul Scorpion mags should be here soon. That's good. Be a little bit less expensive, although the Scorpion mags really aren't very expensive at all. No, Slav. Ruger Security 9 is as good as the 365. Okay, fair enough. I did the review on the Security 9. I was impressed, especially for the price. I think it was like $300 or just under $300. So that was a pretty good deal. Yeah, Mac is jinxed. It is very possible. All right, I got to scroll back and see if I missed anything, guys. Banshee said no one ever. Yeah, so I'll be really interested to see with the 365 XL videos that are coming out, how many are okay and how many have issues. I think the 365 has a little bit of a stigma with it. I mean, you must admit, even if you're a fan, and so I'll just be kind of curious to see how that goes. Now, you get a video like Harry, and you actually see the issues, and I appreciate that. When I don't actually see the issues, I'm always just a tiny bit skeptical. I want to make sure that we can actually see what's really going on with it. So it'll be curious to see what all the different videos that are coming out actually have to say about it. Floridian, all you have to do is ask Such. Everything is great and works like a charm. Well, everything is not always great. If you don't believe me, see the Arex Delta video. I'm not a fan. CZ Fangirl, I get a Scorpion now that I have the money for my Shadow 2 burning hole in my pocket. The only thing holding me back is the pinned 5-round mags. Yeah, that does kind of suck. It takes the bite out of it, you know? Logan White, do you have a Ruger SR9? I do not. No, never shot one before. Harry, what concerns me most about the P365 is everyone with issues is having FTRB. I was totally, I'm for whatever reason drawing a complete blank. Failing to return to battery. Maybe that's it. There we go. Yeah, so I had 2 of those. I had 2. Steve B, never buy a gun until it's been out there for a year or more. I generally don't have that experience. I don't have an issue with first run guns most of the time. Gray Roads, VP9 SK 2020 updates needed to compete with the latest offerings from other manufacturers. I think the VP9 SK is pretty good on its own. I think it's a good gun. Well, we'll have time for one more question, guys. But once again, just a really quick reminder: I'm on Patreon now, so if you want to join over there, you can. We're having a pretty good time. There's a little bit of exclusive content out there as well, and then I'm doing Amazon links in all of my videos. So if you want to do any shopping, grab a link. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does help out the channel a little bit. So just kind of a PSA. I don't want to say that stuff too often, but occasionally. Brian on the go, good to see you. Huey, it's good to see you as well. Please do a review on the Romeo 1 Pro on the X Compact. Definitely interested in your opinion. I appreciate that. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get a loaner. My eye is out for the Romeo Zero, the little teeny one for the XL. That I think that looks very interesting, but I'll see what I can do, man. All right, Knuckles, my LGS has had repeated issues with CZ97s, maybe a bad batch. Wow, yikes, that's not good. Oh, Floridian KS, you have one of the best sincere, honest channels out there. Thanks for all your content, time, and dedication. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you to you. Thank you to all of you guys for hanging out. And, we're about that time. You guys are getting pretty darn close here. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out, man. Tuesday night, again, did a terrible job marketing this. I'll do better next time. This was kind of a last minute, yeah, let's go ahead and do it sort of thing. I don't generally do that. So my apologies for that. But again, love you guys to death. It's a blast to hang out with you guys. You guys have so many different thoughts and ideas, and the conversations you guys share with each other is just fantastic. It's a great community. That's the best part about this. So really appreciate that. This weekend, the X5 Legion does drop. Again, the Shadow 2 might want to watch out. We'll see. I know that's a dangerous thing to say, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. The XL will come out here pretty soon as well. And then no SIGs for a little while. Got to get away from them and do other stuff. We've got the XTAR EP9 coming up as well. So some really fun stuff, a couple product things as well, some things I'm into. So I wanted to share those with you guys. But otherwise, again, you guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Great to see each and every one of you guys. If I didn't get to a question for some reason, save it for next time. We will definitely get to it without question. But again, you guys, really appreciate it. Stay safe, shoot straight, and I will see you guys next time. Tomorrow night, if you guys want to join for the Three Guys chat, I don't know where it is yet. It's not on my channel, I don't think. But hopefully you guys will be able to tune in there. And we're going to have some pretty special guests coming up on that chat. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, you guys, again, stay safe. We'll talk soon.